Hi, I'm Shane. 6 years ago I was working in Sydney and working in the theatre there, and that work had come to an end, and I found myself penniless over in Sydney, so I had to come home very quickly. So I found myself destitute in Auckland on the city streets. In those days I was living rough, living in building sites, disused warehouses, skips, anywhere I could get in the city, and I was walking around at all hours of the night and day, half asleep. I looked very rough. I was very uncanny in my speech. I felt it very difficult to be able to put two sentences together, and I wasn't the sort of person you'd want to speak to. I didn't like myself at that time, and I became depressed, and depression virtually took over me for a period of years while I was living in the city streets. Well, I did pray for some reason, and I found solace in Psalms, a prayer for help, Psalm 40. I thought by going over and over this psalm it would help me to find the people who could help me in my journey. I was trespassed by the police now and again for living in disused buildings, till the judge asked me, "How is your health, Shane?" And I said, "It's not very good, Judge." He said, "Well, it's a time for a stay in hospital for you." Well, the judge offered me a 20-week stay in hospital in the North Shore Hospital. I was very numb and doubtful about such a proposition. When I arrived in hospital, everybody seemed so nice. It seemed like a mini hotel to me. The first thing I looked at in the bathroom was my skin on my chest. I discovered that I was emaciated, that the bones were poking out, that I had really lost a lot of weight. After I'd spent 20 weeks in the North Shore Hospital in the mental health acute ward, I'd put on weight. I was a lot more happier. I felt well adjusted. I'd made friends there, and I felt ready to take on the world again, to take on life again. A good opportunity arrived while I was at the hospital after the 20 weeks. They offered me a position in a residential care unit in West Auckland, and I applied for a place on the North Shore so I could be closer to my partner and son. And sure enough, I spoke to Lee Raygate, the team leader of Equip, and he said, "Yes, we do have a place with you, with another flatmate, an elderly flatmate whom you'd be sharing with." I soon discovered we would be good friends, and she helped me get out of the homelessness phase, and I enjoyed her company immensely. She's had an effect on my life. I would just like to thank her now, and you know who you are. After living rough for quite a while, it was very difficult for me to be inside four walls and be inside a flat again. I felt cooped up. I got used to being depressed. I got used to being dirty. I got used to being free with my words with people, asking them for money. One of the good things of being a part of Equip was that they helped me with my self-care skills. They always made sure that I was wearing clean clothes. They always made sure that I was washing my hair, having a shave, having a wash every day, that I put on clean clothes every day. I became more polite and more aware of myself and what I was saying and doing, and I felt that I was being cared for and looked after. It was a tremendous pleasure, and they always helped me with my goals for moving on to another flat. I had a choice of flats, and we looked at a few before we actually found a flat in Glenfield. It was the perfect place. Des says, "I'll help you find a benefit so you can pay for all this," and that took all the problems off my mind. I wasn't able to find household items. She took me down to the warehouse and to the stores for finding household items and furniture. It was really good. We enjoyed it. She showed me how to budget my money and helped me get on a work and income benefit. She helped me set up the phone and power and those sorts of things. I was very thankful to Des, and I still am today. It was a great time in my life. It was only 3 years ago that I moved in here, but I have everything I need now. I have my family, I have my friends, and I have this beautiful place here in Glenfield. It's central to all the services and transport. It's a great great place. I love it. Depression is a bad thing, and the Equip staff helped me to get over the depression. Andrew Blackburn, Sam Ashira, team leader Lee Raygate. They were so helpful and so friendly. Aaron and Caroline and Emily, I thank them dearly for all their work. After I got my flat, my community support worker Aaron suggested, well, what is on the boil for you now, Shane? Perhaps you could go to study, perhaps you could go to university for a better job. I never knew I could get through such a course, and I achieved a B+ mark at the end of the course. I enjoyed it very much. He went on to help me find work with the Edge Employment. I obtained a job at the food court in Glenfield Mall, and this was a very satisfying job for me. It kept me fit and active, and these days I know I have to be active, right, Aaron? It's not just about cooking and cleaning anymore, but the cooking side is still with me, thanks to Caroline and Emily and you, Aaron. I've had a good time cooking in my flat, and I've started to work on a new goal. I've applied for the AUT to become a chef. I have a dream of cooking in the best restaurants in Auckland one day. I don't know if I'll achieve it, but Aaron and Caroline and Emily, thank you so much for helping me with my cooking. Part of my experience at Hillcrest was to meet the community chaplain, Barry Perman. Barry would come around and counsel me in Hillcrest, and he introduced me to the living room. The living room was a group of people that met each week who had mental health difficulties, and they worshipped and praised Jesus. And as the saying goes, everybody can be somebody when you're with Jesus. And I was very happy to make new friends there in the living room. Clive and Craig Huggins and Bill and Dave and Peter and Paul and all the guys and some of the girls there were great friends after a while. I knew I was in the right place. The living room did offer camps, and I went away for camps to Mangawhai and Shakespeare Lodge, which were really enjoyable. We had a lot of activities to do, we had friendships to make, we had worship to do, we had food to cook, and a great time was had by all. Looking back over the last 6 years, I've realised I've been on quite a journey of darkness and hopelessness and despair, to one of light and faith and belief in myself and belief in other people, that there are good people out there, and I'm basically a good person again. I like myself again, and that is such a change for me. I've made a lot of friends, and I've gained a lot of support from Equip and the living room, and I have a lot more going for myself these days. I'm very thankful to Equip. I feel that I'm lucky and blessed.